Today, I'm going to teach you the unknown secret to time management. So people understand time as linear. They go, okay, it's 1 o'clock, then it's 2 o'clock, then it's 3 o'clock, or I've got 60 minutes to do something. But what time actually is time is a language that we use as people to communicate a place to meet together at the same space. Now, what I mean by that is it's actually a language that's communicating movement of the planets, and time is not linear. So time is actually explaining something that's happening, and then people use that, and then we get together at the same time. But time, personally, time it's understood by you and that's used by you is not the same. It's actually an experience that we go through, and it's based on how our brain and how our emotions and how everything is processing that moment that we're living in. So I'm going to give you an example. I almost died a few times in my life. I'm an extreme sports person. But one time I was riding a motorcycle, and I was a younger kid. I was 16 years old. I was going 125 miles an hour down the road, and a car pulled out in front of me. I saw my life flash before my eyes as I'm looking at that car. I hit the brakes and I'm sliding and I'm trying not to hit the car. And in that moment, time for me froze. And I remembered back to when I was younger and I was sitting in an office because I was sponsored for racing. And one of my sponsors said, if you ever go down on a street bike, you can't try and stop yourself. You have to let yourself relax completely, because people that try to stop themselves are the people that break or get hurt. And so I remembered myself as I'm going 125 miles an hour down the road towards this car. I remembered that moment in that office with my sponsor. And I remembered him talking to me and telling me this story just like I was there. And in that time, I knew I was going down on the bike. And so I just, all of a sudden, when I hit that point of no return, I relaxed. And I completely relaxed my body. And I hit the ground and I flipped across the ground and I slid probably about 100 yards down the road. My bike went about twice as far as I did, but I popped up and I was okay. I didn't even break a bone. Luckily, I didn't hit the car or I would have died. Or if I hit anything, I would have died. But that moment of time, my perception of it, it was going very, very, very fast in reality, but it was moving very slow for me, and I was able to do what I needed to do. I was able to process my thoughts. I was able to think clearly, and I was able to act. And I've seen a lot of these moments show up in things like sports that are easy to relate to. But also, I'm going to give you another example of time and how it changes. You can sit there, and there's an example of if you're in a situation of pain, or if you're in a situation where you're impatient and you're waiting, time can seem like it's taking forever, even though it's moving really fast. You can put your hand, for example, on a burning stove, and you can keep it there, and the longer you keep your hand there on that burning stove, you're gonna think time couldn't move fast enough. You're gonna think like, I want to get that off. My hand's been sitting there forever. It's burning, but really it's just a couple seconds. So time is actually perceived. It's actually perceived and it's actually processed differently. But this is a secret that people don't understand, that people don't realize, and that most people don't know how to control or use, is we can actually use our time in our day to focus and to get things done at a hyper scale. So what you're doing for work right now, if you learn how to balance your time and allocate your time and use this tool and understand time not as linear, but as an experience that isn't actually attached to a ticking second clock. And you can actually perceive time with your brain and space and the function of your thought. You can actually perform at double, triple, quadruple, 10x, 100x what you are performing right now today. This is what I teach in my one-on-one coaching, and this is what I teach at formulaeq.com with my partner Eldon Hassa. We're teaching people concepts like this to better their life, to change their life, to make a difference and to improve your time so you can get your time back to do the things that you want to do, live the life that you want to live, be how you want to be, but also be productive and be amazing and do everything that you want to accomplish in every day. If you can focus your time and connect and be in that zone where you can actually function and perform and do everything you need to do when you want to do it, and when you don't want to do it, you can leave it, and you can separate those two. You can live this life. You can live the highest functioning, time producing life that you've never imagined before in your life. If you want to learn more about it, reach out to me. Check it out at Preston Weeks, WEEKES, extra E in me, .com, PrestonWeeks.com, or formulaeq.com. EQ is emotional intelligence. Everyone knows the intellectual quotient or the IQ. We teach the EQ, which is the emotional quotient or the emotional intelligence. And we want to give this to you. This is what I'm teaching. This is what my partner's teaching. And I know it's possible. And I want you to experience it, live it, love it, and be it. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.